Welcome to the Latics Published Podcast. Today we're reviewing the Blackpool versus Wigan match, which is this Saturday, the 15th of April 2023. I'm Ollie, joined by Alex. Alright, cheers for that. And we're going to be talking about a couple subjects, actually, just over the recent form of Wigan and how we think the game is going to go on Saturday. So, Alex, what are your first thoughts coming into this game after that shocking loss 2-0 to Swansea on Monday?
Well, I'm feeling not confident at all, really, to be honest, to start. Backing up from Monday's game against Swansea, I thought we didn't enough. It looked like the players were not even there to play the game. It looked like they didn't want to play together. They didn't want to gel up and lead to a game to get a victory or a result or even score a goal, especially. It looked like we was not even there. Because coming into the game was really I thought I was going to have a good feeling on the game. I thought we was going to get a good 3 points today. But first minutes of the game looked good. Then everything started to sleep down. When they took the lead, everyone started to lose their heads. And everyone just started to not rush for the ball. No one started to get into the game. Everyone just started saying, right, that's it. Full time's over. We're back into League One now. And that's the end. And coming into this game, I think it's just going to be another scary contest because they're trying to stay up as well with us. And they're looking to get wins. And we're still looking to try and stay up as well. But this season is going to be hard because it's a hard game, but loads of players of ours know we're already down. It's just no chance staying up now. Coming into this game, I feel like it's going to be a good one because we need to focus back what happened last game, what we need to do right, and we need to think about what happened, about the negatives that happened last game because by that game against Swansea, it just didn't look good. It just made me drive me mad. I just didn't like the game at all.
Yeah, and just on that subject as well, of us being in the relegation scrap as well, it's sort of like the relegation 6-pointer at this point, even though we know we're pretty much already down. And as well, on the subject of us losing 2-0, that in the first 5 minutes they couldn't even string two passes together, and we sort of took advantage of it, and then that fizzled out very, very quickly, and we saw ourselves getting sort of running behind quite a bit, and then obviously they punished us through a mistake for the first goal. I think it was in defence, and then a very well worked move, which is essentially the same goal by Joel Peru twice, and as well there was it left wing back Ryan Manning. He was looking very lively. I think as well. Our midfield, we just looked sort of void of anything. We were getting long balls forward, but Ashley Fletcher, he was so off it on Monday as well. He wasn't even going for it, and I think that's the issue as well with Ashley Fletcher. He's not been trying. When we've been winning, he's been class, but he's just he's been giving up way too easily, and I think as well, the way that they set out their game plan, it sort of worked very well for them, and it worked a lot against our system as well, because obviously we're unbeaten at home. Our defence has been very, very solid ever since Maloney's come in at home, and I think that was a very, very worrying game because we just let them absolutely, we just let them. We just did not care whatsoever, and I think as well, some of those changes that Maloney made in the second half, they didn't really make a difference. I know, fair play to Scott Smith for coming on. I think he did all right. He didn't do well, but he was solid. And I think as well, some of the starting lineup as well, some of the decisions have to be questioned because, for example, not starting Omar Rekik, I was still mind boggled when I saw the team sheet come out as well, because the fact that Omar Rekik didn't start, our best defender, arguably, who's been sort of the leader of our defence in recent weeks, he's not started, and everyone's like, why? It's just, I don't know what Maloney was thinking, let's be honest. I don't think anybody was. Some people saying that they left at half time as well. And that was just a shocking game all round, really. Alex, what are your thoughts as well on that second half?
The second half, right, when we came into the second half, I thought we looked a little bit better. The first half was looking like the second half once again. No one liked to push. It looks like it was going to be a dreading 3-0 loss or even close, because if that ref was never there, or even a worse ref, it could have ended up like 5-0 Swansea at least.
Yeah, and on that point as well, on the ref as well, he did not help out at all. He was giving wrong decisions left, right and centre. You know, that penalty decision, which for me, honestly, I thought that was a penalty. I think it was I don't know which. Yeah, Lang, I think it was, who was on a yellow card. I don't know how he didn't get sent off, but obviously the ref might not just have not been having a good day, obviously. But it's becoming sort of. I'm not blaming the loss on the ref. Obviously, we were shocking, but like it's becoming a recurring thing, like over these match days where we're getting shocking refs, shocking decision after shocking decision, and it's affecting us in ways that we can't really cope, because after a bad refereeing decision, say someone gets sent off like Rekic did against Burnley, or we concede a goal that wasn't like a penalty, for example, we just absolutely fall to bits, and it's sort of like it's killing the mood of this team. Obviously, like when Maloney came in, you know, we were going for it, especially in that draw against Blackburn. We were on it, and there's a lot to be left desired about that result. And in his interview as well, he was seeing the passion where I weren't seeing that. I just weren't seeing it, and the issue is as well is that Maloney is obviously trying to steer a sinking ship out of danger, and he's had a huge job coming in from Kolo Torre, who only drew 3 games out of 9 and didn't win a single one. So in that respect, obviously he's had a tough job, but honestly, I don't think he can defend the players anymore from his opinions in his interviews.
Same here on this note as well. We looked really good past games, in home games and even away games with Omar Rekic as well, especially. I thought he looked really good against Burnley. He looks like a really good top player, but when he got sent off as well, when he said as well, like we dropped heads, we didn't look good enough. Like the players just started to lose games, lose the game. Like no one wanted to play for us anymore. It looks like when we concede a goal all the time as well, we like don't look focused. We don't look good again. So when the second half hits us, it looks like a good change for us.
Yeah, and that mojo sort of when we fall behind, I don't think we have like come back from behind. I know we did against Blackpool, but like that sort of that mentality, that sort of our heads just lose it, and we just sort of don't have that attacking desire or like that fight in us when we go a goal down. It's just sometimes got really out of hand as well. Obviously, we lost 4-1 3 times in a row, and that defensive display just summed it up in that last 5 minutes. I was. A lot was left to be desired again in that last 5 minutes. We just gave up, and that's why we conceded 4.
On that note as well, it's like when we played Swansea on the Monday as well, especially when it was like there was bullying us off us. It looked like every single ball what we had, they just bullied us, and like we could have scored some goals, because especially though I didn't see him on the TV at all doing a long ball. He wasn't doing long ball. He was just doing short ball to the defence to bring it upfield. And I was like, lads, we need to gain up and start pushing these players, because they're doing risky passes and we can lead up to some goals. But with chances, I thought McLean was going to score that first goal in like first 5 minutes in, but he didn't take his chance.
Yeah, and especially sort of going into the next game as well, that sort of attacking desires, especially from Fletcher again, his work rate has to be improved. And if he gets dropped, I genuinely wouldn't be surprised. And going into this Blackpool game as well, with them like fighting for their lives, this is honestly a game where we have to win if we have any chance of staying up, let alone just getting a win. And like the team is very, very. It's not been great because their cohesion, especially under Michael Appleton as well, when we beat them, their cohesion it wasn't there. It was ever since that Blackpool Preston Derby game, 4-2 they won Blackpool. They haven't looked the same. I think their attacking threats, they just haven't worked it well enough for them to like score goals and just be a stronger side than they were last season, and that's ultimately cost them as well as Mick McCarthy coming in as well. And I think he obviously tried to steer the sinking ship as Maloney came in for us. But honestly, after that Derby day, They just never have looked the same. And honestly, this is a golden opportunity for us to win. And with that 3-point deduction, we need to win. But honestly, I can't see it. It just looks like a 1-1 draw to me because we don't have that attacking threat and we don't have that defensive sort of will to put a tackle in. Honestly, we look scared of the ball in that defeat to Swansea on Monday. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we concede more than 1 goal. But I can't see where the attacking threat's going to come from because Ashley Fletcher, he can't be bothered. You can see it from that 2-0 defeat to Swansea. You can just see he doesn't care. He's just there for the money. I mean, he's on loan here. He's 15 grand a week. He should be at least putting an effort in. Like Callum Lang's doing all he can. Like he's working his ass off, but he just can't do it on his own. He's not got that level of experience. He's not got that sort of experience and fight in him. He just can't do it alone. And when we're playing a 2-striker, as we did on Monday, he just really showed how he was working, but Ashley Fletcher wasn't, and how it doesn't work when he doesn't work. And it all has to sort of link in when it just hasn't for us this season. So that's sort of been the issue. And so if we are to win, then we have to pull together and work harder. So it's a lot left to be desired as well for Malone.
Talking about Ashley Fletcher as well, he doesn't take his time.
No, he doesn't, does he?
Like he's always like not a good player for us. He's not been the greatest. He's not shown his qualities from Watford and his past teams. Because like when he was in his prime, he was a really good player. He knew what he was doing. And when he came into the stage like DW, I thought he was going to be a good turnaround. I thought he was going to be like another Langstaff on that Notts County, scoring banging goals every year.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, he's a championship quality striker. You at least expect him to score a couple of goals and actually try for the team. But he's just obviously not bothered. Just because you're earning 15,000 a week doesn't mean you don't try. There's players earning like £600 a week. They're still trying, and that's sort of been the issue. The lack of desire. Just because you're on high wages, it doesn't mean you don't try, and that's been the issue a lot as well. Because we've sort of. Our work rate ever since Maloney's come in, it's been high at times, but it's been low as well. So those losses that we've had, especially at West Brom and Swansea, the work rate's been shocking, absolutely disgusting. From like the end product has been terrible as well. Especially like in the West Brom game, we only started playing in like the last 15 minutes. Like why are we not playing from minute 1? And that's been what's annoying me most this season as well.
Yeah, same here. It's like when you said high wages as well. It looks like the lower wage players are just like pressing more than the high, because half of these players who are high wages, it looks like they're not going to give a try. Because if you see Ashley Fletcher, he's not even trying one bit now. He looks like he's going to turn into a lazy one. But like if you look at the lower ones, like Asgard example, he's pressing so much to lead us to survival. And it's like the other ones just don't give credit now because they all think we're already down. But there's a good challenge now still against Blackpool, but I don't think we can do it still. I feel like another 2-2 draw, 1-1, because I feel like it'll be another Swansea one where their pace will just absolutely smash through us.
Yeah, they're going to carve us open. Even if they've got Gary Medine up front, they've got Jerry Yates, he's a pacey left winger or striker. I don't know what position he plays really, but I think he plays a bit of both. And they could choose Shane Lavery. I know they played a 4-3-3 last time they played. It's like Shane Lavery. He looked like a pacey winger. I think was it Curtis Till? I think he made a really good challenge when he was like through on goal. So he's sort of one that we need to sort of look out for as well, because players like in the midfield as well, they've got very good players in Charlie Patino. They've got Sonny Carey, Kenny Dougal. He's not looked very good since Blackpool got promoted. But then again, they've got the quality. They just need to utilise it a lot more than what we've been doing. And especially like in plays like Tiehi and Max Power, he's obviously become a different player under Maloney, which is great to see. But we need to utilise our midfield as well, as much as they are, because I think that's sort of like the massive key for us, because we're getting carved open game after game after game. We can't stop conceding. And it's obviously going to become a big issue in League One if we can't get a good defence. And honestly, I can't see us getting promoted from League One, like at the first time of asking, if we go down. And I think that's going to be a big issue.
Yeah, on that note as well, I think it'll be a very hard challenge for next season, for sure. Because when you mention defence especially, it looks wide open. Everyone's doesn't look good. It looks like an easy, dusted game for everyone from who plays us now. It's because like they know it's going to be an easy one. They look well trained. It looks like they're into the game. They already know what they're doing. They know the tactics, and they know what they can do for the game against us because they know that we look easy in defence and midfield. But with Swansea on that Monday game, we can't be doing that against Blackpool because if they keep getting goals in from our midfield or defence and just push through us from that pace, it could easily embarrass us to put us more down in the points and they go up more points and just sink us in 24th place.
Yeah, and I think we said it earlier as well, the atmosphere that's going to play a massive factor into the players as well, because Blackpool have only allocated, as I said earlier, like 1.4k, I think it was, maybe even less. And that factor of our away following, that's going to have a massive effect on the players as well, because I think the atmosphere is going to play sort of a big role again. As in, Swansea, to be fair to them, they've brought around 600, I think it was. I mean, they're playing for nothing. They've come to see their side, who are sort of descending through the Championship, and they've come to see them win 2-0 away. Obviously, it's a delightful result for them. But we just let them carve us open, and I can kind of see that again. But I think our fans we really have to get behind them at this point. There's nothing else we can do other than just get behind them. And
I agree there as well.
Yeah.
We all should just stick behind the boys for these last final games because when I said earlier before to you, like it's the experience of the Championship because half of these players have never experienced the Championship. These fans need to know it's a really good well done to them because coming into League One last season, they're all gelled to League One last season, all of them, half of them. But if you come into the Championship, it's like a brand new challenge. It's like the Premier League at the moment. And I'm like, the Championship is the hardest competition I've ever seen in my life because honestly, you can't be booing all your players and all your staff and that at half time because it's not your fault. Your team is new to the Championship and never seen them gel before like this because it takes time because it happened not too long ago. I think it was like when Will Grigg was here and like we didn't gel and like we just need to take time, get your players in, then if you keep doing that, your players, they don't want to play for you because that was too easy on Monday because I reckon it was just not like good passion. Our fans didn't stick behind the boys. We just need to stick behind these boys for that many games because we might not even come back in the Championship next season. I doubt it, but it may be a close one. But I reckon we'll get playoffs area. But I don't think we'll get like top again. I think it'll just take some effort because there's some big teams in this League One next season. Yeah,
and I think as well that mentality that we've been able to go up at the first time of asking again. I just can't see it happening, and I think it's going to be a big factor as well because obviously the fans was the first season back for the fans. We obviously played a massive role in that. We were selling out away crowds quite a lot, and this season we just haven't done that. And I think as well, that sort of losing mentality, it sort of got to the ownership as well because we've been hit with a points deduction, not paying players on time. We've done that 5 times in a row, and it's just going nowhere, really, is it?
No, of course not. It's looking scary for next season already. Like, not paying players was going to be a scary threat because when we came into the Coventry game, when they were not paid and it was a 1-1 draw, I thought, like, they looked better not getting paid because the fans were absolutely outrageously, they were all loud, got behind the boys. And, like, now, when they've been paid, it looks like the fans are just getting absolutely dreaded of it and they're getting bored of the games. But you can't be doing this because it's a very good tight for the playoffs. The survival right now because everyone is struggling to win still. And this is probably the hardest league I've ever seen teams still struggling their head off because it's that close. Because so many teams are better than us right now. And I don't think fans understand how hard the Championship can be right now.
Yeah. And so on that note, we're going to end it there. I think we've sort of we've got a good chance. This is honestly our best chance to win. But I think we'll stop it there, and we thank you all for listening, and we'll see you after the Blackpool game. So thanks for listening, and see you later.
Yeah, I guess.